Hey there. We're gonna do some bowing exercises. Uh, let's call this a 1, 2, 3, 4. I just came up with that name. If you've got a better name for it after you figure out what it is, let me know. And yeah, better names for things are cool. But here's what we're gonna do. We have our bow, and when we were working on our bow hold, we remember our little bunny Foo-Foo here come and take a bite out of the field mice. Puts his ears right on top. That pinky stays up here. This one wraps in front, and we've got a nice bow hold here. Now, we talked about the pinky being up there because when we lift the bow or we take pressure off the strings here, we want to be lifting with that pinky, right? So you push the pinky down and that lifts the other end of the bow. We don't want to see the twisting of the wrist, twisting of the shoulder, none of that. We did our bow push-ups by pushing down and up, down and up. We're gonna add something to this. That was like 2 parts. We're gonna do a 4-part. We're gonna start with our bow on a string. And I don't care what string you use, but we're gonna go out as 1, push that pinky down to lift the bow up as 2, in as 3, and then lift that pinky to drop the bow down on 4. That sets us up to return to 1. Then we lift, then we're over, then we're down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The point of this exercise is twofold. 1, to work on keeping a smooth sound. As you draw that bow across the string, we want that smooth sound lasting the whole beat. Then, to work on our pinky to lift it up, over. And the other part of this exercise is bringing the bow down smoothly so that we don't make a sound when we land on that string. What we don't want to hear is 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? We want to be silent when the bow touches the string until we draw the bow across. Let's try 5 of these, making sure we're sitting with the proper position, making sure that our bow is perpendicular to the strings here, straight across. We don't want to be pushing down the string this way or up the string this way. Straight across. And I don't care what string we use. Starting here, 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And shake that hand out. Now we can do that same thing with an up bow. What we just did was a down bow. When we went from the frog to the tip, the bow went down. This time we're going to do the same thing, but it's opposite. It's an up bow. So we're starting here. We're going to go in, up, out, down. And when we go down and we're out here at the end of the bow, you're going to see that the bow is going to want to bounce a lot more. It's harder to control this thing when you're at the tip of the bow than when you're near the frog. Cool? So last time it was 1, 2, 3, 4 down bow. This time it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up bow. Let's try 5 of these and really focus. This finger here is going to help control the bow on that bounce. All right? 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as long as you're keeping that bow perpendicular to the string, you're going to get a pretty good sound. Some of us in our videos, I've seen pushing the bow down at an angle. And you're going to get that scratchy sound there. We never really want the bow to slide this way. And when you're pushing at an angle, it ends up getting that slide. And that's where your bad sound's coming from. So, perpendicular bows, control the tip with this finger, control the weight with this finger, and try to keep those things smooth. We're going to change things up with this third one. This uses a 3 count instead of a 4 count. So we're going to be thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to play 3 notes in a row on the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do an up, hold, down. 1, 2, 3. Up, hold, down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 more of those. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The last thing is I want to come back to a piece of paper. If you're having trouble with this bow, probably the main thing is it's the bow not staying straight. It's wanting to be crooked. It's wanting to move around. And it has to do with where our bow hand is. Whether, or like if your elbow's too low, that's not going to work. If your bow hand's out too far, that's not. If it's too high and you're pushing down, it's not going to work. But this, a piece of paper, if we roll it up, and this is kind of thin paper, it's copy paper, so I used 2. If you got like a toilet paper tube or a paper towel tube, that would be perfect. But remember, think about the way, if you're a cello, your strings are going up and down. We want to keep the bow perpendicular, so we need this paper to be perfectly flat. And you can do all these same exercises inside this paper tube. The whole point of this paper tube is getting us to move at the elbow the right way and keeping our hand in the proper position. You can even try holding the instrument up, putting the paper tube on the strings where the bow would normally go. And now you can really see what your hand's supposed to be doing. Don't let this paper be crooked to the strings though, because this is what some of you are doing and it's not working. Paper, perpendicular, remember that means crossing like an intersection, and the bow just keeps being smooth. It's all about staying smooth. Now, if you're a violin or viola player, all these things still apply to you, but our bow is up here and our violin's over here, right? So one of the best ways to hold this paper tube is right here on your shoulder. Bow's in here, and you move here. One of the things we notice is that this is pushing our hand out in front of us more than the side. Since this violin's not coming straight out of us, we don't want our hands perfectly flat because it's this way. right? So if it's this way, your bow is coming that way, and it's actually pushing your hand out in front of you using, again, it's the motion from the elbow instead of the shoulder. We don't want this motion. We want this motion. Cool.